Uh, all right. So I was thinking about, I was thinking about what it was like to be a kid and you just go to sleep. I love it. Was like there's no thing. You sleep and then you wake up and it's like that's it. There's nothing more to it. Um, and then how I'm just wondering how many of you it's not like that at all. You maybe go to sleep easily, like I go to sleep, like I'm just out in 2 seconds. And then maybe you wake up at a certain time every night, or it's disrupted, or you're restless, or you're tingly, you have pain in your night in the night, or you then you wake up really exhausted, and then it just kind of repeats itself in various forms. So I'm wondering who is hearing this, who has things like that going on, and you feel like you've tried everything, although there's always more. So I'm wondering if you tried a lot of things and you're still experiencing sleeplessness or disrupted sleep or have a hard time falling asleep, or you fall asleep easily and then you wake up at certain times, or it almost seems like clockwork, you wake up at like 3:20 every single time or whatever. So I'm wondering about that, because I do notice that especially that specifically comes up a lot with, I would say, most or all of my clients at some point or another. And that being a core piece that comes up and that is so great to work on with people. So, anyway, if you don't know me, this is Jessica. I'm a holistic health practitioner, coach, counselor for a long, long, long time. So, anyway, I have some pretty great content around what to do with sleep and how to care for your sleep cycle differently. And I thought I would share a few things. And one is that people don't realize that you don't just, nothing's in an isolation, everything's connected. So that when we go to sleep at night, your sleep is part of an entire cycle. What you do throughout the entire day impacts your sleep. It's not just what you do right before going to sleep that impacts your sleep. It's the cycle of your whole day. And those things, the behaviors that we engage in throughout the whole day all impact each other, but especially impact sleep. And then it goes round again. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that our circadian rhythm is a real thing. The way we are in tune with the sun and the moon and the stars is real. Nature does dictate how we relate to sleep. So getting sunlight in our eyes, or daylight in our eyes first thing in the morning, I would say, is a number one thing that people miss out on. Not everybody, of course, but getting that sunlight gives your body and your brain the signal that it's time to start the day. And that begins to signal hormones that are for alertness and for daytime and for awake. And then when it gets dark, you see the darkness, and it signals your brain and your body to say, okay, it's time to unwind. It's time to start getting ready to go towards sleep, which really does start as soon as it's dark. When I lived many years ago, I taught community health in a village in Ecuador, and we had no electricity. We had electricity, but we had minimal. It was pretty bare bones. We cooked on from a dirt floor and a fire in the middle of the room, and it was pretty basic. It was a village that had really just it was like camping, but it wasn't camping. Anyway, what was incredible was to wake up in the morning with the sunlight. That's how everyone woke up. And it was 4:30 in the morning or something like that. And then we went to sleep when it got dark. That was it. We'd have dinner, and as soon as the darkness would come, it was time for sleep. So that might have been at 7. And so I'm not saying everyone can do that, but it is a great way to tune in with the signals of what the light in the day does. Now, we are all distracted with lots of blue lights and lots of artificial lights. So those things actually do signal our brain to stay awake and to be alert. Now, there's all these other variables that play into our sleep. Hormone regulation and hormone balancing is part of that, which is a longer conversation. But when we signal our brains through these different kinds of light, we're telling ourselves it's time to be awake. So turning off devices, at least, I mean, everyone has some different ideas about this, at least an hour. If you can do it 2 to 3 hours before bed, that's ideal, but we have to be realistic. You also can, if you can't turn off your devices up until bed, you can get glasses that help block out some of the the artificial light, and that helps your body to start to regulate and know that it's time to be getting ready to go to sleep. So that's one thing I wanted to share that has to do with light, because I think that's something that we can all start thinking about more. And again, if you want to, I help people with this all the time. There's lots of other information to share with you, and I would love to be able to help you. And I have individualized programs, and if you get in touch with me, I will happily share with you my sleep resources, and also perhaps we set up a call to talk about what's going on with you. So be in touch. Thanks.